She's like, take me. I'm so good.
I don't even know. Spicy. Maybe I have, right? Like.
I'll do
Hey.
Gina, I've never seen you in that kind of.
Yeah, I like it.
You look good.
I have your glasses for you.
Aw, sweet. Look.
So we'll continue with the halachas of B'dikas Chametz, checking for Chametz. So we'll cover today a few more scenarios that somebody knows of somebody who's in that scenario. If somebody's in that scenario themselves, they'll know in Hashem what to do. We'll cover some things, objects that need to be checked. What do you do after the B'dikas Chametz? What do you do after checking for Chametz? The bittul that comes after. Okay, Emet Hashem. Okay, so if somebody rented or purchased an apartment, a home, a condominium, whatever it is, but it was not used yet, right? So let's say you bought it for yourself as an investment, or you bought it for another purpose. You didn't move in there. It's sitting, right? So the question is, do you have to do B'dikas Chametz on this property or not? Any guesses?
No. It depends.
It depends. Oh, very good.
Come on.
That's right. It depends. So the answer is that if you get the key, you actually acquire the property by the time of B'dikas Chametz. It's yours already. So comes Thursday night this year, and the property already belongs to you. Then the mitzvah does fall on you. Now, with an exception, let's say you're not going to be using the entire place. It's just sitting there. You're going to use it in a few months from now. You're doing renovation, whatever it is. So what you do is you sell the entire property to the guy. You include it in your mechiras chametz, in the selling of your chametz, and then of course you can't use it. It's sold to the guy, and once it's sold to the guy, you're not required to check it. If somebody is chas v'shalom in a hospital, if somebody themselves, one son falls in, they're in a hospital, or a different scenario, they find themselves in a hotel, right? They're in a hotel for Pesach. So if somebody has their own room, which is completely designated for their personal use, so that's easy. You check your own room, which belongs to you. Sometimes in hospitals, there's no special room designated for the patient. It depends which ward you find yourself in. Nobody should ever know such things. So then you check all of your belongings. You go through your stuff, the suitcase, the purse, whatever personal belongings that you have, but you do not make a bracha on such a B'dikas Chametz. So you check your belongings, you do everything the same, but you do not make a bracha on such a thing. So if somebody's in the hospital, what are they going to do? It's coming Thursday night this year, which is B'dikas Chametz. How do they check? So if they have their own room, they make a blessing and they check like normal. It's because it's the room. It's designated for them. If they don't have their own room, sometimes they put the patients in a public area, so to speak. So then you check your own things without a bracha. You check your belongings, make sure there's no chametz, but you don't make a bracha on that. Yeah. Okay. Somebody who's a guest. So we slightly discussed it yesterday. Somebody who's a guest staying by other people for Pesach. Anyone remember? We discussed it yesterday. You make a bracha, you don't make a bracha. What's the story? What's the deal?
Your bracha falls on the owner of the house.
Exactly. The obligation, the mitzvah, if you're eating, you're not just staying there, but you're actually eating there also, so you're a full guest. You're staying, let's say, by the shliach, you're eating there, you are considered halachically a member of the household, and therefore, being that you're a member of the household, you're no different than anyone else. You hear the blessings from the head of the household, and then you answer Amen and you check whatever areas were designated for you to check. Okay. And as we mentioned, so here it's discussed in the setting of the yeshiva, but it's the same for a seminary. Everyone checks their own properties. So even if you have a few people in one room, but everyone checks their designated areas. Okay. Now we're going to discuss different utensils. One needs to be checked, so on and so forth. So of course, anything which is used with your food, that definitely needs to be checked. For example, your table, right? To just quickly, even though you cleaned it, quickly go over to check, make sure that it's still clean after you cleaned it before. The chairs by the table also required to be checked. For sure, a high chair. If you're in a house with little kids, definitely the high chair has to be rechecked. You have to be checked by B'dikas Chametz. A carriage, right, for babies, the strollers definitely have to be checked. The couch has to be checked. So if somebody has a briefcase, so sometimes you do put food in there if you're traveling, whatever, on a short trip. So together with your other belongings, it's a very normal thing that you take, put a few cookies in there, whatever it is. So a briefcase also definitely has to be checked. So, and this includes anything else, which the normal thing is that sometimes it's possible that chametz was ever brought into it. So even though you cleaned it, we still go ahead and check it on the night of B'dikas Chametz. Okay. What about checking the svarim? Can anyone make a guess?
It depends.
I mean, I don't know, I like omelet with a big sandwich, so.
Okay, so you for sure have to check.
Or if you haven't touched it since last we saw.
Uh-oh, that's a bigger problem. Yeah, so if one actually, if it knows for a fact that they didn't use it since the last time it was cleaned, they know for a fact that nobody else used it, then the taka don't have to check it. But svarim which are used definitely have to be checked because there's no question about it. You can put it on a table which has other things around it. You yourself can even be eating some chametz over it as you're using it, right? You're learning every single day. You're learning chassidus, some halacha, mishnayos, whatever it is. You use it, right? If you use it, there's no question about it that there's a very high chance that it came in contact with chametz. Cookbooks, regular books that you read, whatever it is, those all for sure need to be checked. How do you check? Yeah, you take it, you flip through the pages, anything that, any crumbs that could have been there, we assume if there's anything there, by turning it upside down and flipping through the pages, they all fall out, and it's good to wipe down the cover in case you put it on your table where you're eating. You don't want any contact of any possible chametz to be together. Even so, even after you wipe it down, it's always not recommended to put anything on the table that you eat. Very particular, because food, something which you eat, and a mashahu, even the smallest amount of chametz is problematic. So we're careful not to put anything on the table as a precaution. Even, and where else do we see this such a extra stringency, so to speak? Anyone remember? When you cover the fridge or anywhere else where you actually put down food. So even though you washed it very well, you went through the corners, you sprayed anything. So really, there's a very far-fetched chance that there's actually any chametz, but the minhag is you still cover it because that actually comes in contact with your food. That's where you put your foods, your pots, your pans throughout Pesach. So we take an extra step. We also cover it to get rid of any possible doubt. What about the garbage? Oh, before that, oh, this is important. Your cell phones definitely came in contact with chametz. So if you have a case, remove your phone from your case, wipe it down with better with some sort of not a lot. Obviously it doesn't have to soak. Just wipe it down, make sure there's no crumbs. I guarantee most of you will have crumbs behind your case. Yeah.
I know some people that they cover their cell phone like from this.
With silver foil.
Yes, like is it better to do it or no?
You don't have to. How are you going to use it?
Like they put it like a transparent one, so they can't put like in a way.
Uh-huh.
I mean, like not the best way, but.
Uh-huh. Okay, if somebody's holding by such a high level, that's a very good thing. But you don't have to do so, no.
Okay.
And if you have, I don't know if they exist anymore, MP3 players, any of these, probably not, no?
They exist, just nobody uses them.
Nobody uses it, that's right. Everyone has phones today. And today's phones all have that. Okay, so anybody has here, it's still discussing tape recorders. That for sure probably nobody uses, right?
That's how you know it's dated.
No, it's actually not such an old cipher. It's just, it's written by somebody from a different community. But over there, they probably still do use tape recorders. And any other electronic keli, any electronic utensil, things that are common, you put them on the table. You're probably going to use it as you're eating some chametz, whatever it is. That for sure has to be washed very well, because it's very possible that, not very possible, it did come in contact with chametz. Okay, kids' bicycles, so on and so forth, you just quickly wipe them down. Kids do eat and touch everything, just in case, quickly wipe it down, and that's it. What about your garbage can? What do you do with your garbage can?
Spray it out.
Spray it out, simple as that. You take out this is also important. And you should make sure to take out the garbage before Pesach comes in. It's not on your property anymore. It should be on the street. Some are even careful to spray any actual chametz so before the time when chametz is no longer allowed, it's already destroyed, so to speak. And you leave it on the public property. It's already the city's responsibility to pick up before Pesach comes in, and then you're good. Definitely the garbage cans, as was mentioned, you should spray them down, make sure they're 100% clean, because there's no question about it. There's for sure at least crumbs that fell through. Yeah, as we mentioned, the vacuum cleaners, remember to take out the bag. So I mentioned this earlier. So this is by cleaning. So make sure that after you finish cleaning, the bag from the vacuum cleaner to empty it to make sure, because that's for sure that's where all the chametz is. So you have to make sure to dispose of anything in the bag to make sure that you're not going to have it over Pesach. So any hallways in the house, as was mentioned yesterday, there's, for example, the perfect example is the dorm. You have many people that they share a hallway. So that has to be checked, but you divide the work, being that the mitzvah falls on everyone. Everyone who uses this hallway has the mitzvah to check it. So you divide it up. So one person is going to take one section, another person is going to take another section, so on and so forth. And a wallets definitely need to be checked. Do you ever eat chametz over your wallet? Probably not, huh? But you take it out, you put it, on the table sometimes where there's actual chametz on the table. So just quickly wipe it down, check it to make sure there's no crumbs. Yeah. Okay. Now, here's an interesting discussion. Today, we do a very thorough Pesach cleaning, right? Especially over here. It's good. I'll explain to you why it's good. Because the way you set yourself up here, this builds a foundation of how your home is going to be like. So if you raise the bar, with the best standards, you won't go, you'll be within that range. And that's the proper thing to do. If the bar would be a little bit lower, then your future homes are also going to be like that. So it's the best thing is definitely to do it in the most beautiful way, in the best way, Mohodedik way. And that way, this is the foundation that you're going to be living your lives with. So you're setting a proper bar to set it in the best way possible. That's how you go in the future. So for people, there's a discussion in the halachic authorities of people who are not feeling well or the elderly. Is there any way for them to be lenient when they check their for chametz? So it is brought down that if the house was already thoroughly checked before before b'dikas chametz, before the checking of the chametz, for a fact you had people, you had cleaning help, everything was 100%. It's spotless, sparkling, clean, there's no question about it. So then some halachic authorities, so for people that it's pashut physically hard to go and check properly, they could rely on what was already done in the past. But they should leave designate a few places that were for sure not checked, and they'll leave those one or two rooms and check with a blessing. So again, somebody who physically, they're older. There are older people that, of course, make Pesach by themselves. They don't have the family necessarily that are able to go and help them, but they do have the luxury of having proper cleaning help before Pesach, right? Such a thing exists. So they know for a fact that everything was cleaned. There's no question about it. They got a reliable cleaning company, whatever it is. So in their specific situation, they could, or it's not just elderly people, but people who are physically not doing well. So then they are allowed to rely on the cleaning hub that they did a good job and there's for sure no chametz left. But they should designate one or two rooms so they can check with a blessing. So they can check with a bracha properly the night of b'dikas chametz. So this is not for everyone. This is a special leniency just for people that physically are not able to do anymore. So it exists. So if you know people in such a situation, let them know. They should call their rabbi with a question.
Can you say it again, what they need to do?
So if they physically, they're weak, they're older, the elderly, they're sick, and so on and so forth. They're not physically able to do a full bedikas chametz. They're weak, right? They're not physically capable at the moment. So, but they had cleaning help. The house is spotless. They had professionals come clean everything. So when it comes to bedikas chametz, if they're not physically able to go and check every single place with the candle, so on and so forth, so they should leave one or two rooms that wasn't checked, that wasn't cleaned. They'll just check those two rooms, and the rest they rely on the cleaning help that they had before.
Check only like one room.
One room that they left. Yeah, that's right. So again, it's not for everyone. This is for people who are physically not capable of doing more for whatever reason. So, they're not stuck. They can still fulfill the mitzvah. Okay. Now you finished your bedikas chametz, right? You made the blessing. Asher kedishanu b'mitzvos tzivanu al bir chametz. You thanked Hashem for the mitzvah to destroy chametz. You went, you checked everything. You checked your tables, your chairs, every single room, every corner, any possible place where chametz you could have brought chametz into throughout the year. Now, what do you do right after?
It depends.
Depends. So the answer is you do something called bittul.
You nullify it.
You nullify it, correct. But before you nullify it, what do you do? First of all, if you're going to have some chametz tomorrow morning before, right, you're allowed to eat chametz out of Pesach until a certain hour. So what do you do with that? So you set it aside, you make sure you put it in a safe place that no kids can get their hands on it and take it all over the house. You set it aside, it's sealed, and it's recommended to put it in a high place out of reach of children. Also, any chametz that you actually found, same idea. Put it in a safe place that's designated. You're going to come back tomorrow morning. There's no question it's going to be there, right? A safe place, because after you're finished, you're going to go and burn the chametz, right? It's important. If you lose it, you have to check again. So don't lose it. So, okay. So now, after that, so you set all the chametz aside. If you found a Cheerio here or there, you put it away in the bag that you used together with the feather, the wooden spoon. You set it aside. Tomorrow's breakfast, you set aside. Then you do something called bittul. Bittul literally means you nullify the chametz. So as we discussed yesterday, there's two ways that you can get rid of chametz. One is through actual bir chametz, of destroying the chametz. The second way is through nullifying the chametz. Nullifying, as we mentioned yesterday, is it's not mine anymore. I was gamer believy. I fully decided that this chametz is completely nullified. I have nothing to do with it. It's not mine. It's healthcare. It's ownerless. Has nothing to do with me, even if it's sitting in my house. But it's not mine. Whoever wants could go ahead and take it. So after you finish checking, you do bittul. You nullify the chametz. So it's printed in the siddur. It's an Aramaic, but here we go. So if you remember, it's in English, page 406. I'll show you now, so you remember what it looks like. Right, so out of Pesach, it says over here, the order of the search and removal of chametz, right? Page 406, you'll see, this is actually very important. You have to understand what you're saying. So everyone should make the declaration in English. If you don't know Aramaic, you should say it in English. Why? Because if you're rendering something ownerless, you're making the declaration, you have to know what you're saying in order to render it. If you're saying things that a person doesn't understand, so it doesn't accomplish anything. It has to be done in English, and it's all leaven or anything leavened, which is in my possession, which I have neither seen nor removed, and about which I am unaware, shall be considered not and ownerless as the dust of the earth. Right? You make such a proclamation, you have to sincerely mean it. It's important. When you say it, you have to know that you mean it, that it's completely not, it's nothing, it's ownerless, and it says to you, it's like the dust of the earth. It has no value to you. So that proclamation is made. We'll see, you do it again on the day of Chametz, on the day of Pesach. Okay, that's ready. Okay, then when it comes to, there's a minhag called Streifas Chametz, burning of the Chametz. So you'll see in front of 770, there's going to be a huge dumpster with fire, and you're going to see a bunch of people going and burning their Chametz, right? This is the mitzvah, the actual mitzvah of Bir Chametz, of Streifas Chametz. So anything that you found, or any last minute crumbs that you had from breakfast, so what do? You make sure you have everything, you put it in your paper bag, together with the wooden spoon and the feather, you throw it into the fire. So this is the next day, right? So you check your chametz by night. Then you set everything aside. Then you nullified it. The next morning, you go and you burn it. And you burn it. Okay. Sure. So the ones that you're not using, the ones that are completely sold, so you don't have to cover them. You just mark it. You put a piece of tape, sold, or chametz, or sold to the guy, whatever it is. So then it's clear. If the guy everyone wants to come and collect his chametz, he'll know where to go. The ones that are used, the ones that you're going to be using that may touch your plates, bowls, whatever it is, those we cover usually. Those we do cover. Yeah.
I'm renting in someone. Living in someone's house, but I'm renting a room. Do I have to do beer from nights and day online?
Oh, so yeah. So in your room that belongs to you, so you make b'dikas chametz. You do check for chametz. You do make a blessing. Are you the only tenant, or there's others?
There's another person, but she's not going to be.
She's not going to be there. Okay, so then yes, then you make the blessing. You have the candle, the wooden spoon, the feather. You check everything that if you found anything, whatever it is, you set it aside. You say what it says over here on page 406, and the next morning you put it in the fire.
Can I use the same 10 pieces of pumpkin
Sure.
that they used?
The
tenants used?
Yeah, why not? Sure.
It can be like the same pieces you used.
Yeah, the pieces is just in Inyan Kabbalah, it's brought down. But strictly speaking, you don't even need the 10 pieces. Because the mitzvah isn't to find the 10 pieces, the mitzvah is to search. And it's actually even brought down. If somebody searched and they didn't find, it's okay. They didn't make a blessing in vain, because the mitzvah is not to find, the mitzvah is to search. So if you did your best and you see, wow, you did such a good cleaning job, there's nothing left, you're good to go. It's still good. And then, so we're holding now out of Pesach by day. You went to 770, you burned your chametz. So then you'll see there's another text that we say, so it's important. So we nullify the chametz after we check by night. We make another nullification by day after we burn the chametz. And so leaven or anything leavened, which is in my possession, whether I've seen it or not, whether I've observed it or not, whether I've removed it or not, shall be considered not and ownerless as the dust of the earth. So you have to mean it. When you make this statement, you mean it. That any possible chametz that is in your possession, either you know about it, you don't know about it, whatever the case may be, it's completely nullified. It's not yours. You have nothing to do with it. So the chametz is sold to the guy. It's sold to the guy already. It doesn't belong to you anymore. That is no problem. It's the chametz that could have been overlooked or whatever it may be, that you completely nullify and you have nothing to do with it anymore. Then there's a special insert that we say, the special yehirats in the special section, which is maybe your will, that we ask Hashem to get rid of the Yetzer Hara, so on and so forth, because chametz is connected to klippas, it's gaiva, right? Levin, it chametz, it shows on gaiva, it shows on haughtiness, so on and so forth. So you see in the siddur it's printed that after you say the statement of nullification, then you say a special prayer, you say a special tefillah, and after the burning, yes. After the burning, you say the statement of nullification, the bittul chametz again, and then you'll see there's a special insert that you add. So again, it's important. Better to say it in English. You should say it in English. If somebody isn't fluent yet in Aramaic, say it. It's very important to say it in English. Yes.
Are you fluent in Aramaic?
I hope so. I hope so. Okay, now, as we mentioned, a drop yesterday, if somebody didn't check by night, they have to check by day. If they didn't check by day, they have to check throughout Chol Hamoed, they have to check on Yom Tov. And if somebody forgot even that, you have to check even after Pesach. So you can't get out of it. You have to do the mitzvah. If you miss it, you still got to do it. Okay. So that is all when it comes to the mitzvah of the Bdikas Chametz. So now we're going to start with an important section called Ta'aruves Chametz, products which have mixtures of chametz. So this is a very big topic. Every year there's publications that come out with lists of products. This has chametz, this does not have chametz, so on and so forth. This includes medicine, shampoos, soap, Band-Aids. Yesterday somebody called and asked by charcoal. They want to make a barbecue on Chol Hamoed, but they know that charcoal is made with starch. Starch is chametz. Sometimes, and most of the times it's chametz. It comes from wheat, right? So many products that are not necessarily connected to your food. So your kitchen is 100% sealed off. There's no chametz in there. The question is, what about everything else, right? So that's what we're going to start learning about today. It's a big topic. Okay, so that's what we're going to skip. So there's a general rule that if the product has in it any chametz, but you cannot recognize that this ingredient found in this product ever had to do anything with chametz. It doesn't have something called suras chametz. It doesn't look like chametz, and it's not edible anymore. It's completely, right? Often, what do? They'll take a natural ingredient, they'll take a certain part of it, and they're going to make something out of it. So through this process, it's no longer edible, right? So let's say you have shampoo, but it originally originates, they have some sort of wheat product inside of it, right? For example. So what happens? Often it's nifgam, it's called pogum, it's called, it's no longer edible. It has nothing to do with its original state, right? There's different levels of pogum. It has to be something which even a dog won't eat. There's different levels. So the question is, how do we view such a product? So if it no longer, the specific ingredient that may be chametz, there's absolutely no remnants that it looks like chametz. It doesn't have something called tsuras chametz. It doesn't have any look or any character traits of chametz. and a dog is no longer going to eat it, the way that they process this ingredient, it's not edible. So much so even a dog is not going to eat it. It has nothing to do with food. There's no way for you to ingest it. It's not right. They made a chemical out of it. So then there's no prohibition to keep this product over Pesach. So what is allowed and what's not allowed, that's what we're going to discuss in detail. What kind of products are for sure okay, what's not okay. But this is a general thing to have in mind. Oh, exactly how to use it. We're gonna see. Very good question. We're gonna see how we could use it, if we could use it. Are there any restrictions or any limitations? Any mashka, of course, that comes from a wheat product, vodka, whatever it is. These are all things that are, of course, mamish chametz. It's complete. It's chametz gomer. That's nothing to talk about. It's for sure off the table, and it's also brought down that our custom is not to drink even kosher Pesach mashka, which is kosher Pesach. So mashka that they made from potatoes, our custom is we don't drink it either. And the reason for that is one of the Pesachim, Rabbi Kiva Eger, if anybody ever heard of him, from the big halachic decisors from the previous generations, forbade it. And he said, I'm not writing to you the reason. It's a secret reason. It's called the Tam Kamos. I'm not telling you why. We should not use it. So there's a response from the Tzemach Tzedek, the third Rebbe, that he said, listen, if it's a secret reason, there's nothing to, you have to, that's it, you have to accept it. And because it's something that, if a tremendous halachic decisor forbade something, you don't start up, so to speak, you know what I mean? If he said that I'm not telling you the reason, that we just don't use it, so he accepted it. So that, for sure, anything wheat-based we don't touch. And our custom is, even something which is not wheat-based, it's kosher l'Pesach officially, we also do not use on Pesach.
What about something that's never made with wheat, something like rum? Rum isn't used making.
Oh, so according to strict halacha, if it comes with a certification which is kosher l'Pesach, it's allowed. But our custom is we don't touch anything which is as rum or even potato vodka, anything that has absolutely no chametz. Even so, our custom is we abstain on
So
Pesach.
absolutely, like no alcohol or
Wine, yeah, that's a custom, correct. That's right. It's not a bad thing. It's a very good thing. It's a good thing year round. Okay. Yeah, he's just going through the foundations. Let's get to the. Yeah, sure. Oh, very good question. Oh, so that's what we're going to discuss. The answer is, strictly speaking, let me see if I can find it. So over here is discussed. Yeah. Cream, detergent, makeup, soap, all these questions. So you actually are allowed to have it on Pesach, and you are allowed to use it. So creams, sprays, anything for hair products, so on and so forth. So even though at one point it could have come from a product which is chametz, but through the process of making the end product, it was completely destroyed from the chametz state, so to speak. It's completely unedible. A dog is not going to touch it, right? A dog is not going to eat shampoo. And this ingredient of chametz, the way it is in the shampoo, a dog is also not going to eat because they processed it so much. They turned, yeah. Nail polish, same idea. Same idea, because they process it so much, it's not edible anymore. So it's not edible for sure for a person, but it has to be in such a way that it's not edible even for a dog. Even the dog, which has less standards than the average person, even if a dog is not going to eat it, for sure, it's good. So strictly speaking, creams, right? Anything for hand cream, body wash, and for the shampoo, thank you. All of these things, eye drops, powder, so on and so forth, this is all actually allowed to be used.
Oh, except for lipstick.
Lips, oh, very good, excellent. Oh, this is a very, very good point. So in theory, lipstick would fall under the same category, but what's the difference with lipstick? It's going to get into your mouth. So all of these things we're allowed to keep on Pesach, we're allowed to use it, but you can't eat it. Lipstick, this is an excellent point. It's impossible. Your tongue is for sure going to touch it, or lip balm, all these things, and you're going to have the taste of this product in your mouth. Therefore, it's not allowed. It should be on the accepted list.
What's a good brand to get?
So there's a listing on CRC. You can it's a free available list on Google. You can find it on Google. I mean, everything is there. Every year it's updated. They call the companies to see was there any change in process, so on and so forth. So it's definitely, I think it's called the CRC Pesach list, something like that.
Yeah.
Make sure to find the most updated version for this year. And everything is for sure there. Okay, Mitzvah Shem, we will continue tomorrow.
Okay.